been pretty controversial in the Transformers community lately are the size of certain figures. There are quite a few to choose from recent years, but for the purposes of this video, we're going to choose Cliffjumper as an example. Cliffjumper here is really small. He's about the size of a Prime Wars Trilogy Legends class figure. And he's being sold at a deluxe price point, so what really makes him worth it? Well, for one thing, he's got incredible engineering on him to make his transformation and articulation incredibly good. And he also comes with this gigantic bazooka that can split apart into 2 guns and can also incorporate into the vehicle mode as like a hydrofoil mode. They worked this thing into the toy to help the play pattern and make it fun, and it worked. To be honest, I can't say I'm disappointed by spending $20 on this guy. And that's what these types of things have been doing these days, putting in extra accessories to kind of fill out the price point. And most times it works. And then there's some times where it kind of doesn't. So this is the brand new Origin Bumblebee from the Buzzworthy Bumblebee line. And we'll actually talk about his issues that I have with him in his robot mode because that's where I have more to say. As we all know, it's based off of that first episode of Transformers where it was on Cybertron and turned into a little pancake. And yeah, I've got to say, it's pretty spot on for what they were going for. Granted, there was only one other attempt at this kind of toy, and it was fine, but I wasn't really interested. I can't really say it's my favorite Cybertronian mode from Bumblebee, but there aren't really many to choose from. Now, if somebody were to make a toy of the animated Cybertronian Bumblebee design, I would eat that shit up. Regardless, this guy is perfectly fine in his vehicle mode. Well, from the top at least. Once you flip him over, you kind of see almost everything that's going on. But really, I don't care. I don't display figures in vehicle mode, and if I did, I definitely wouldn't display them like this. So, just pay attention to what's up here. It's the good stuff. Not really a lot to say in his vehicle mode. It's nice, and I like it a hell of a lot. Robot mode, however, is kind of where things start to slide downwards a bit, but it's not as bad as I originally thought. When I first transformed this guy, I thought the transformation was really fiddly and I wasn't like a big fan of it, but after doing it a few times, it's fun. I think what it was is just that some things confused me and I'm kind of stupid. However, while that's not bad, I will say I wish the kibble handled itself a little bit more. It's not that bad, but I kind of wish that these leg panels would have actually been on the foot and wrapped itself around. That way it would have smoothed out the legs and made the feet all big and clumpy. We as Transformers fans love that. And the back kibble I wish could have handled itself a little better. Like, I honestly just wish that this wasn't there behind the head. It's not that bad, but it's just one of those things. Transformers toys these days have had brilliant engineering with some of their figures, and even this thing does some cool things, but I just wish that the kibble would have been handled a little better. That's honestly just kind of a minor gripe. Also, just a minor nitpick about his look. His face is really chubby, and I don't know what to think about it. One thing I do like about the look is I like how they incorporated the Volkswagen Beetle hood into his feet, because they kind of had their Earth designs while they were on Cybertron still, but hey, they made the attempt for that. I can't fault him. And the accessories that he comes with are also kind of a mixed bag. One really good one is this gun. It's honestly a very good looking gun and looks like the gun that he used in that first episode. But he also comes with a jetpack. And I honestly don't know when Bumblebee ever used a jetpack, let alone while they were still on Cybertron. I'm not really going to complain. It's a nice jetpack and I love jetpacks. It fits onto his back very nicely. I think it's sort of molded into how the shape of his back is. And it also works with siege blast effects, so that's kind of cool. I'm not the biggest fan of the blast effects myself, but it's a nice touch. I'm just not entirely sure why they would include a jetpack. But the accessories that I'm definitely really iffy on are these guys. These guys are meant to be the energy conductors from that very first episode with him and Wheeljack. Although, I don't think there's enough energy in these conductors to last a Cortex. Anyway, jokes aside, what really bugs me about these guys is you can't do anything with them. They're just solid pieces of plastic. Like, these ends don't come off at all, and these ends are too fat to go into any figure's hands. Like, it looks like the center could, but the ends are just too fat. You can't do anything with them. Literally, the only one purpose that they are here for is to bunch them up in his arms. They even show it like that in the goddamn instructions. And again, yes, that's what he and Wheeljack did in the first episode, but come on! Not even anything to let them hold these in their hands? That's just lazy. Why include them at all if all they're gonna do is just sit there? Like, they look cool and kind of have a sparkly thing to them, but these things are just meaningless pieces of plastic that are banking on your nostalgia so that way you'll buy the thing at the raised prices that are going up to. These guys are what make me think that this thing isn't fully worth it. Anyway, now that the rant is kind of over, I just have a couple of more general questions about all this. Firstly, why is Bumblebee the one that gets his own dedicated subline? You would think that if any character was going to get one, it would be Optimus. I know that Bumblebee's the character that they deemed for kids, but Optimus is one of the most recognizable characters of all time. Even people not in the fan base know who the character of Optimus Prime is. Like, you could do so many different designs for Optimus Prime, and while you could for Bumblebee, they really haven't been for this line. The only figures that they've been doing for the subline is this guy that we're reviewing, the little core class guy that came with the little exosuit side thing, which also was useless, and then it's just a bunch of repacks from Studio Series. Anyway, my second question is, why did they take away the plastic covering for this box? Like, I guess to cut down on their plastic usage, and yeah, I'll commend them for that, that's great. But during this day and age, I don't think it was the best time to take away the only plastic barrier between everyone's greasy, disgusting fingers and the toy that you're going to be buying. Just might not have been the best thing to do currently. Also, just in a general statement, they should definitely resell the Netflix Bumblebee under this subline. People were kind of having a hard time finding this guy, and re-releasing it under the line that's all about this character would make sense. Speaking of this guy, why don't we compare the two? This guy has the look down to a T. Like, if you want a G1 looking Bumblebee from the Classics line, then this is probably the way to go. But I can't say that you should not pick up this guy. This guy is fun, and it honestly is the only official toy that we've had for this vehicle mode of Bumblebee. And honestly, this guy can pose just as well as the other guy, including, due to the transformation, a couple of butterfly joints. Is he my favorite Bumblebee? No, but neither is this guy. But is he really nice, and does he look really good with the other Bumblebees that I had going for a collection? Absolutely. But the question now goes, who do we get next for G1 episode Cybertronian designs? Like, we didn't have many. We had this guy, and then we also had the Tetrajet Seekers, which we got in Siege, so... And I know that everybody is asking for Wheeljack because he came with this guy, and it would be a good companion piece for this. And I agree, but there's somebody else that we're forgetting. Jazz also had a Cybertronian mode, and that mode looked cool as hell. I just feel like Jazz doesn't get nearly as much love as he should because he's a great character, a really cool design, and if we're doing G1 Cybertronian vehicle modes, then why the hell not include him? Can we just get them both? Please? Hasbro? Come on. Please? I'll buy them. I'll even pay the $23 that the prices are going up to. I may not like it, but I would do it. Anyway, all this to say, the gist of this entire video is I like this toy. I'm happy to have him, but I can't ignore the problems that he has. If you guys enjoy having these things that come with it, fine. Good for you. I'm not going to tell you how to enjoy your toy. In fact, I'm really happy that you do. I just feel like there are some things that this pack could have done better. I know you guys probably won't be able to find this guy at a discount, especially with how awful scalpers have been these days. So, if you find this guy and you're 100% interested in him, definitely. He will do your collection no harm at all. Man, what a lackluster ending for a review, isn't it? Anyway, that's been another review from you guys. Thank you all very much for watching. I've been 01 Transfan, the #1, and I will talk to you